Coming up on Week 5 of the HuskyZone, the football team played a good half of football against the number 2 ranked LaSalle Falcons, while the soccer and volleyball teams rounded out the first swing around league play. And the soccer club saw a few sensational wins. Cross country competed in yet another meet, and the familiar runners atop the standings placed well again. All of this and more is coming up on Week 5 of the Fall Sports HuskyZone.
Makes the catch, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown.
Hi, I'm Cole Costello, and welcome back to another NM Athletics production. As we reach the halfway point of the league season in our sports, we'll take a look at what each team did this week, as well as show you how the league standings are shaping up. Before we do that, let's head over to Shane for cross country.
Thanks, Cole. Last week, the cross-country team headed to Salem to run at Corbin University for the Star City Classic. The competitive field was fairly big in the meet, featuring 19 schools, including mostly 5A and 6A schools. On the boys' side, Christian Parr maintained his dominance with a top 5 time of 18 minutes and 16 seconds, pacing all of the Huskies runners. Hannah Surkamp stayed atop the North Marion girls' side of things with a time of 25 minutes and 20 seconds. Other times for runners are on your screen. Now let's send it back to Cole with volleyball.
Thanks, Shane. The Huskies volleyball squad started off the week with a game in Molalla against the Indians. It was the closest game of the league season to date, as the Huskies posted scores of 18, 19, and 22 on the Indians, but still fell in 3 sets. A much closer matchup, however, came on Thursday when the girls hosted the Gladstone Gladiators, in a matchup of 2 teams struggling to climb up the league ranks. The Huskies put themselves up early, winning the first set 25-21. North Marion couldn't follow up their set 1 win with another. They struggled as Gladstone built momentum to win sets 2 and 3. North Marion overcame that frustration in the 4th set, pulling ahead early before the Gladiators came roaring back to make set competitive. With Gladstone on the verge of victory, the Huskies dug deep and won the set, leading to a decisive 5th set. The Gladiators, with the help of the officials, jumped out to an early 5-0 lead. The Huskies didn't just roll over as they matched the Gladstone Gladiators point for point, but the 5-point deficit proved to be too much as the Gladiators earned their first win of the year. Taking a look at the league standings, the Huskies are unfortunately in the basement of the Tri-Valley Conference, as their first league win has evaded them so far. That's it for volleyball. Now here's Logan with boys soccer.
Thanks, Cole. On Tuesday, the boys traveled to face the Molalla Indians. The Huskies lost 3-1 in the rival matchup, but the 2-goal deficit didn't show how close the game truly was. The game opened up with a Husky goal, but Molalla quickly rebounded and tied the game up. The score remained the same until the second half when the Indians netted a perfectly placed free kick into the top left corner. The Huskies fought hard in the rest of the game and led the Indians in shot on goal. Despite this statistic, the Huskies were unable to score again, whereas Molalla found the top left corner of the net once again. That ended the game 3-1. Thursday, the boys stayed home to take on Gladstone. In a closely fought first half, both teams were extremely aggressive. North Marion opened up the scoring with a goal kicked in by Rodrigo Gonzalez off a corner kick to give the Huskies a 1-0 lead. That score remained the same until halftime. However, the tight margin was quickly widened as Ivan Salcido had a pair of goals in the first 10 minutes of the second half, giving the Huskies a comfortable 3-0 lead. The Gladiators' goalkeeper, extremely frustrated with the play of his team, was taken out following the 3rd North Marion goal. As time began to wind down, any shadow of doubt was removed as Gabe Hernandez netted the 4th and final Huskies goal, moving the game up to a 4-0 win. As it stands now, the boys soccer squad is currently in 3rd place in the Tri-Valley Conference with a 3-2 record. Maintaining this position would earn them an away playing game, but the team would be looking forward to a second half of league to move up in the rankings. Now here's Cole with girls soccer.
Thanks, Logan. On Tuesday, the Lady Huskies matched up with the number 6 ranked Molalla Indians. Many people wrote North Marion off, as Molalla, a team who has reached the quarterfinals in back-to-back years, is a force to be reckoned with. The Indians started off the scoring in the game 11 minutes in. The Huskies did not take long to respond, as a foul in the box committed by the Indians set up Febe Samano's penalty kick, and she converted to knot the game at 1. Febe struck gold 5 minutes later, when a deep, towering shot off a throw-in somehow found its way in the goal, granting North Marion the 2-1 lead. The game's sloppy play continued, as another foul in the box allowed Alyssa Chaw to tally a goal off a PK, giving the girls a 3-1 lead. A goal late in the first half by Jasmine Flores was nullified due to a post-goal foul. Molalla brought the score to within 1 at 3-2 15 minutes into the second half. Although the Indians controlled the ball possession and spent the better part of the last 20 minutes on the Husky side of the field, the North Marion defense held sturdy and did not allow a goal. In the contest, the Huskies' scrappy style of play came out on top over Molalla's more set and confined strategy, as down the stretch, North Marion pulled off a 3-2 upset. North Marion then traveled to Gladstone on Thursday to face the reigning state champions in a game under the lights. The tall task was made even harder by the fact that the Lady Huskies were without leading scorer Jasmine Flores, who sat out with an ankle injury that was sustained in the Molalla game. The Huskies were also down their vocal leader, Paulina Turan, who injured her ankle in warm-ups. From beginning to end, the Huskies were overmatched by a Gladstone team that looked flawless in taking the 6-0 win. With the split of this week's games, the Lady Huskies at 2-2-1 sit 4th in the conference as the second round of league play starts. And now here's Josh to talk about football.
Thanks, Cole. The football team suffered from another league loss this week, as their overall record fell to 3-2. The Huskies' first half effort was very inspired, leading the two teams to a close 13-7 halftime score. On the second offensive play of the game, Cody Walker ran the ball 69 yards to get the Huskies inside the Falcons' 10-yard line. A few plays later, Matt McLaren ran the ball in from 7 yards out for the score, as North Marion took the surprising 7-0 lead. LaSalle scored a pair of touchdowns before the first quarter's end to get to the 13-7 halftime score. On two separate occasions in the second quarter, North Marion appeared to have a first down inside the Falcons' 5-yard line, but very questionable spots were given by the officials, and it led to a turnover in both situations. The third quarter was a defensive nightmare for North Marion, as LaSalle scored 4 times. Turnovers, mostly fumbles, plagued the Huskies throughout the second half. With the game out of reach, the Huskies tacked on one more touchdown in the fourth quarter after a 4-yard touchdown run by Emery Patterson. Looking at the team stats, North Marion held a sizable advantage in rushing yards, but the lack of a passing game is what allowed LaSalle to lead the total yards category and eventually go on to win. The turnovers piled up for both sides, but the Falcons held the edge in that category also. Individually, Cody Walker highlighted the Huskies' ground game with 131 yards on 14 attempts. Now here's Cole with our trivia question.
Thanks, Josh. Last week we asked you when was the last time that a girls' soccer game ended in a scoreless tie. The correct answer is October 1st, 2009. North Marion played to a 0-0 tie at Cascade with the Cougars. This week's question asks about a past football player. Who is the only North Marion football player to be voted first team All-State on both offense and defense? Text in your answer to 503-583-8NMA. Standard text messaging rates will apply. This week's Play of the Week comes courtesy of Febe Samano and the girls soccer team in their 3-2 win over highly touted Molalla. With the game tied at 1-1, Febe granted the Huskies the lead after her kick from about 20 yards found its way into the goal. Be sure to give Febe a high five in the hall when you see her this week. And now here's Logan featured in a news segment, You Make the Call.
One more time.
After further review, the runner did cross the line with goal.
The call on the field stands. Touchdown.
Thanks again, Cole. In this segment, we will take a look at a play in the game throughout the course of the week and dissect it to determine what a call should have been. In our first edition of You Make the Call, we look back at this week's football game. In the play on your screen, Kyle Williamson came up with an outstanding grab among two defenders, and the ball was to be placed inside the Falcons' 5-yard line. As you can see, one of the officials threw the flag for offensive pass interference. The pass interference penalty reads that neither player on either team should interfere with the opponent's ability to fairly make a catch. In the referee's ruling, Kyle allegedly pushed off to gain an unfair advantage over the other two defenders. Take a peek to see the view here, as Kyle did little to nothing to detract the opponent's ability to catch the ball. As you can see, this play is very controversial, so we say you make the call. And now we're going to hand it on over to Josh for high-flying performance.
Let's go.
This week's North Marion Athletics FBLA high-flying performer is Christian Parr of the cross-country team. All season, Christian has been finishing with fantastic times, and he is always up near the top of our finishers. He continued his hard work this week with a high finish in the team's race in the Star City Classic. Good luck to Christian in the rest of this cross-country season, and be sure to visit Mr. Murray in room 2 for all of your balloon needs, as they are perfect for any occasion. And now let's move over to Wyatt for more upcoming events.
Thanks, Cole. On Monday, the volleyball team hosts LaSalle as they begin the second round of league play. The game gets going at 6 p.m. from Gym 1. And then on Tuesday, the soccer teams play LaSalle. The Falcons come to North Marion for a 4 p.m. boys soccer match, whereas the Husky girls soccer team plays at LaSalle at 6:30 p.m. The Huskies football team hosts Estacada on a rare Thursday game. The game will get underway at the usual time of 7 p.m. And now we're going to hand it back to Cole. You stay classy, NM Nation.
Thanks, Wyatt. This is our second week of the staff athlete voting, and be sure to vote for your favorite choice by the end of this week. The options are A, Susan Huffman, B, Michael Lippman, C, Grant Hartenstein, or D, Cherie Moore. You can text in your answer to 503-583-8NMA, or just answer the poll on our Facebook timeline. Once again, we're going to want to thank Yet Life for their sponsorship of our ticker. Be sure to head to Club at the Hub in Hubbard at 8 p.m. every Monday. If you're interested in sponsoring one of our segments, please contact us at nmathletics@gmail.com. If you're still interested in joining NM Athletics next season, be sure to turn in an application to an NM Athletics team member. That's all for this edition of the Husky Zone. I'm Cole Costello, and here's the best of Side.
Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style. Oppan Gangnam Style.